The painting should have been locked behind 100 security measures. Instead, it was staring at her from the dark corner of her dusty attic, like it had never left. Emily Harper's heart pounded in her chest. She was still gripping the edge of the wooden chest she had been rummaging through moments earlier. What she saw didn't make sense, not in the realm of logic, not even in the realm of fantasy. Because the object leaning against the far attic wall, partially covered in an old white sheet, was unmistakably the girl beneath the moon, a 19th century masterpiece that had vanished from the Denver Museum of Art 2 decades ago in a high-profile theft no one had ever solved. The golden frame, the swirling night sky behind the girl's wistful expression, and the distinct crescent moon. Emily had seen the image countless times in news articles, true crime documentaries, and even in her art history class during college. She stood up, her knees shaking, and slowly walked toward the painting. As she pulled off the cloth, the dust cloud rose into the air, revealing every stroke, every color, every detail. It was real, or at least it looked real. But how? She was in her grandmother's attic. Her grandmother, Lydia Harper, had passed away 3 months ago, leaving Emily the old Victorian house on the edge of Ashbrook, Colorado. The attic had remained untouched, partly out of grief and partly out of procrastination. Until today, Emily stumbled backward and sat on the wooden floor, overwhelmed. She grabbed her phone and typed "The Girl Beneath the Moon Stolen" into Google. The first result popped up, a 2005 article from the Denver Times detailing the heist. Stolen under mysterious circumstances, no forced entry, security footage wiped, insurance payout totaled $18 million, no leads. And now it was here. She snapped a picture and sent it to her best friend, Zoe. Emily, Zoe, you won't believe what I just found in my attic. Zoe, looks like that painting from the museum? Emily, it is. It's the real one. I'm 99% sure. Zoe, Emily, you need to call someone. But who? The police? The museum? What if they thought she was involved? Suddenly, a strange memory surfaced. Her grandmother's voice during one of her bedtime stories. One day, you'll find something that doesn't belong to you, but it will need you to return it to where it belongs. She had never thought much of it. Now it sent a chill through her. A creak echoed from the attic steps behind her. Emily froze. "Hello," she called out, her voice shaky. No answer. She crept toward the stairs and peeked down. Nothing. Probably just the old house settling, she told herself, but her instincts remained on high alert. That night, she couldn't sleep. The painting was now in her bedroom, propped against the far wall. She couldn't bear leaving it alone upstairs, but having it near her didn't help her rest either. Every time she closed her eyes, the girl in the painting seemed to shift ever so slightly, as if watching her. At 3:17 a.m., her phone buzzed. A message, but it wasn't from a contact. Unknown number. You found it. Don't trust anyone. Emily sat upright, heart racing. She tried calling the number, but it went straight to voicemail. The next morning, she decided she needed answers. Not from the police, not from the museum, from the past. Emily didn't waste time. She loaded the painting carefully into the back of her SUV, wrapping it in blankets, still unsure if moving it was the right decision. But what else could she do? Every second it stayed in her house, the danger seemed to grow, quiet, invisible but real. She was heading to someone who might know more, Professor Gerald Whitman, her former art history lecturer from college, a man obsessed with unsolved art heists. He had once called The Girl Beneath the Moon the Mona Lisa of missing masterpieces. If anyone could verify the truth without alerting the world, it was him. She pulled up outside his small home office just north of Boulder, trembling as she rang the doorbell. Professor Whitman opened the door in a rumpled shirt and suspenders, blinking in the bright daylight. "Emily Harper?" he asked, confused but polite. "I found something. I need you to see it." When he peeled back the blanket in his study, his jaw dropped. For several long seconds, he just stared. "My God," he whispered. "Is this what I think it is? You tell me." Whitman stepped forward with reverence, pulling out a pair of gloves and inspecting the painting meticulously. The brushwork, the craquelure, Even the signature under UV light would confirm it. But I don't need that. This is the real one. Emily swallowed. Then how did it end up in my grandmother's attic? Whitman sat down, rubbing his face with both hands. Your grandmother. What was her name? Lydia Harper. His face paled. Oh no. What? What is it? I knew a Lydia once. She used to come to museum fundraisers. But I never knew her full name. Always went by Lydia L. Back in the early 90s. She was close with one of the curators, Arthur Bell. Emily leaned forward. Arthur Bell? That name sounds familiar. It should. He was arrested for embezzlement in 2006. Fired in disgrace. Some suspected he helped with the theft, but nothing was proven. Emily's stomach turned. Are you saying my grandmother was involved? Whitman shook his head. I don't know, but if the painting ended up in her attic, it's not a coincidence. Emily nodded slowly. There's more. Someone texted me last night. Said not to trust anyone. Whitman frowned deeply. Whoever stole this painting and whoever helped cover it up may still be watching. Just then, something shattered. The window. Whitman and Emily both ducked as glass rained onto the floor. A brick clattered against the hardwood, a note taped to it. Whitman picked it up, hands trembling. It read, "Put it back, or disappear like the others." Emily's breath caught in her throat. Whitman's face turned grim. Emily, this is bigger than either of us thought. Emily was driving faster than she ever had before, gripping the steering wheel with white knuckles. The note had changed everything. The others. How many others had known about the painting? And what happened to them? Whitman had insisted she hide the painting. Not destroy it, not turn it in, hide it. Until we understand who's after it, he said. Let's not feed the wolves. She drove toward her grandmother's vacation cabin in the San Juan Mountains, a place no one else even knew existed, tucked away in the woods near Lake Isabella. Emily had been there once as a child and remembered a trapdoor in the closet floor, leading to a storage crawl space. That's where she would stash the painting. When she arrived, the cabin was dusty but untouched. She carefully slid the painting into the crawl space, buried it under old tarps and boxes, and locked the trapdoor. For now, it was safe. That night, alone in the cabin, she found herself digging through her grandmother's old journals. In one entry from 2004, she read, Arthur regrets the heist. He wants to return the painting, but it's too late now. The man in the green coat said he'd kill us both if we tried. Another, dated 2005. They think the painting is cursed, that it whispers, but it only whispers the truth. I've heard it too. Emily's hands shook as she turned the pages. Her grandmother had helped hide it, but not for greed, for fear. She fell asleep with the journal in her lap, haunted by the idea of a painting that whispered secrets. At 2:49 a.m., she awoke to the sound of footsteps on the cabin porch. She held her breath, staring at the door. A slow knock. Then a voice, raspy male. I know you have it. Open the door. Emily backed away, heart racing, grabbed a flashlight, and slipped into the closet. She quietly opened the trapdoor and dropped inside, closing it behind her. From beneath the floorboards, she heard the door creak open. Emily Harper, the man called. Your grandmother thought she could keep it hidden. She was wrong. The footsteps moved through the cabin. Closer. She held her breath. A silence fell, then a thud, right above her. He knew. The footsteps above her paused, then slowly receded. The cabin door slammed shut. Emily waited. Minutes passed. She finally emerged, hands trembling, flashlight flickering. The cabin was empty, but a new note had been pinned to the wall with a knife. The truth is older than the painting. Ask Whitman what happened in 1984. What did that mean? She returned to Boulder the next day, the painting still hidden in the crawl space. When she confronted Whitman, he was hesitant, almost ashamed. You want the truth? He said. I was a young assistant curator in '84. That painting didn't arrive in Denver through legal channels. It was smuggled out of Romania after a series of murders in an old monastery where it was discovered. Some said the painter was insane, that he used real blood, that everyone who owned it died. Emily felt cold all over. So you believe it's cursed? I believe it's wanted. By the wrong people. She stood, suddenly resolved. Then we return it. To Romania. Whitman blinked. Are you mad? No. I'm tired.